Hi guys, Billy Harden here, and this is my director's commentary. So, first of all, my plan was to create a film that included mixed emotions and a mixture of different genres ranging from comedy
Thinks he can pull anyone
to thriller. I wanted to make the audience feel emotions of what the character was going through, and to make it as much of a realistic experience as possible, to give the audience that escapism they deserve. Yes, there are happy moments and sad moments, but that's to show that anything can happen and turn things around in a split second. I wanted to play on something that most people are afraid of, which is being alone. My target audience for this was 16 to 28 year olds. This is because at the 16 to 19 year old mark, you're usually trusted to stay at home alone, whilst the 20 to 28 year olds are moving into their new flat, and most of the time they're living alone. I used many different structures for this film, such as Todorov's equilibrium theory, where everything is at a normal state for the character shown by his college life, to being a victim of a home invasion. This is a really good way of showing this because it shows that it can happen to anyone at any time, and that is what creates the fear that the audience leave with. As I said this before, there is a mixture of different genres, as it started off as a sort of teen comedy, but then it transitions into a thriller/horror by the use of different audio and different styles of camera movement. I was also following the codes and conventions that you would normally find in a thriller film, such as small and confined spaces to make the character feel or look isolated and claustrophobic for a sense of entrapment. The use of mirrors is another good one because it shows what is there for the audience, but not the character, as he can't see it. I used a lot of shaky cam for the fight scenes to show the struggle and the urgency of the fight, but also some close-ups to really show the strain and the push of the adrenaline that the characters have. I also used a lot of slow motion shots, as this was a bit of an emotional ending. This really works well because it raises the suspense of what's going to happen. There is also a lot of things going on, and it would have been too fast for the audience to know what's happening. I did use a lot of still shots, as I thought that this would work well with creating an eerie vibe to show that the character is alone and isolated in this house. The audio was another big thing with this production, as this is what really creates the tension and suspense, with it building up to the jump scare, or false jump scare, you don't know. I used it a lot for the action scenes to really bring up the pace of the production, to give the audience a thrilling experience where they'd be asking themselves, will he get away? The use of silence is very important as well, because it makes the audience sort of hold their breath because they know something's going to happen. The elements that went well, I thought, was the use of time lapses because it creates a really cool look and it goes brilliantly with the music and the slow motion shots, as this really created a dramatic scene to where the audience are at the edge of their seats waiting to see what happens. I also really liked the title sequence at the beginning with the freeze frame and the writing. I felt like it worked well with giving off a really cool team vibe. There were problems with the cast, as they are not professional actors, so I did have to keep retaking shots. I had to switch locations because of a man cutting grass with a lawnmower, which would have ruined my production. And also my prop camera didn't have any battery in it, so it didn't work, so we had to stop filming. One of the things I could have had is blood on the knife to make it look more realistic, and the other thing I could have done is film some extra shots of the false jump scare, where there is a first person shot of going up the stairs before it cuts to the shot of the door handle slowly turning. And also a shot just after the parents leaving in their car of the intruder looking at the house, which would have created a more tense vibe for the audience. All of this would have benefited my production to make the storyline easier to understand for the audience rather than being thrown straight into it with a man standing in the bathroom. My original idea was to have Zach still alive, but to wait for the police and then also the parents to come back and hug Sam. Zach would have given Sam's earphones back and then it would have faded to black and cut to a scene of two hands shaking, to which one of them being Danny, to show that it was his idea for the intruder to break in the house because he does not like Sam. In all honesty, I think that the ending to my production was the best bit, as I thought the beginning and the middle were a bit slow and took ages to get to the actual plot of the story, which was a break-in. I do think that this is my best production out of all the rest that I've made, as I've had more experience with using different shots and camera angles than I used to, and also I've become more advanced in editing, to give the scene some real depth and a creepy vibe. I feel like it does keep my audience entertained, as there are some funny moments within the film, but then also the jump scares and the fast-paced action scenes. Overall, I believe that my production went really well with the time that I had and the resources that I had access to. Thank you for listening to my director's commentary. Enjoy the film.